Hi everyone, this is Shantae, aka Shantizi on Twitter and Instagram, or just simply just Shantae Berry. So I'm here with the nightly edition of the weeknight called Shantae's Analysis. It's hashtag Shantae's Analysis on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want more content, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Shantae Berry. So I am here with the usual. So I am going to start off with the coronavirus numbers from the global standpoint and from at home in the U.S. So these numbers I'm getting from is from the Johns Hopkins website, which is coronavirus.jhu.edu, and also the New York Times COVID map for the states. So in terms of the global confirmed cases around the world, in 191 countries, we are at 72,824,936. The global death toll is at 1,620,490. U.S. confirmed cases are as follows. We are the highest, of course, on the globe, so not shocked. 16,516,874. I'll read that again. 16,516,874. And the U.S. death toll has now reached 300,000. We at 300,477. I'm surprised that's not even the big news. They talk about the vaccine, but we just reached 300,000, and it's 1 week before Christmas. And some of this is not even the Thanksgiving surge yet. Watch how the Christmas and New Year surge will be. It will be ridiculous. We might even hit 350,000 before the New Year's. Who knows? And as of today, new infections on MSNBC, they said 235 or 232, but on the New York Times, on a Johns Hopkins website, because they're very accurate on Johns Hopkins website, 190,920 cases. So we almost have 191,000 new infections today here at home in the U.S. Yeah. Not shocked at all. In terms of COVID cases in the world, there are new hotspots. Before I get to the States, there are new hotspots. Bent, Colorado has had 37.6 cases. I think those are percentages. Somewhere, Aquafalala, whatever it is, Oklahoma, 26.3. Collinsworth, Texas, 12.5. Hershey, Nevada, 27.7. Bowen, North Dakota, 12.3. So most of these are in the Rust Belt and out west. Now in terms of the states, and they read as follows. Yikes. California, 1.6. That 1,609,912. Florida. No, Texas, excuse me. 1.4. So that 1,493,563. Florida, 1 million. Well, 1.1. 1,134,375. Illinois, 857,860. New York, 789,815. Ohio, 570,602. Georgia, 527,157. Pennsylvania, 505,422. Michigan, 472,166. Wisconsin rounds at the top 10 at 471,285. But then you have Tennessee, which is 452,476, which they're in severe red mode. North Carolina, 441,721. Indiana's numbers is climbing. They might surpass North Carolina at 433,242. But most of these numbers are in the Rust Belts, which these numbers are crazy. Like, Iowa don't even have a big population, and they almost have 300,000 cases, 256,902. And I think South Dakota is almost about to hit 100,000, and they less than 900,000 people at 91,354. But of course, we have no national strategy to do a lockdown. But the vaccine has been delivered to the U.S. They started sending out the stuff yesterday. And so I believe each state. Oh, I said Illinois is at 857,000. I'll read that again. 857,000. Where are they at? I just exited out of it. But they're at 857,000. They're almost at 900,000 in Illinois. So you can look at the New York Times COVID map to subscribe for free, only for COVID. But the vaccine's been delivered today. Of course, major cities. Sorry, I know in my city, the nurse that was on the news, no problem. The nurse that was on the news at Northwell in Queens, she was one of the people in New York that took the virus, one of the nurses. It was mostly nurses and doctors that were the first to take the vaccine because they've been on the front lines and they've been working and then continuously working still. So she said she has faith and confidence. And as much as faith and confidence I have, that I want to have 400%, I read an article saying that some people suffer from the paralysis of this vaccine that was part of the clinical trials. So you don't know which is which. But I'm not a frontline worker and I'm not an essential worker. I work from home. So I won't be in line to take the vaccine. However, health officials say just don't rely on the vaccine. Continue to wear your mask. Continue to wash your hands and keep a distance of 6 feet. Social distancing. The only way we could combat this thing is if we be in this together to wear a mask, wash your hands, and social distancing, and not be in large crowds. I live in a city where it's 9 million people, one of the largest cities in the world, born and raised here. And I can say some parts of my city, they wear their mask, and some parts is like, I have COVID fatigue. I don't give a fuck. This don't happen to me. But then again, you end up being an asymptomatic one and getting sick and getting your whole family sick. Wagwan. And thank you very much. But it's like this virus is still killing people. Like 2,000, 3,000 people are dying per day. We just reached 300,000 as of today. And I'm surprised that didn't even make news. Along with, William Barr being fired. I think he was fired. And, Biden and Harris being officially the vice president and vice president elect. But 300,000 people. And still, I said there's no national strategy because there's no relief. None. We're not having a national lockdown. Donald Trump don't give a fuck. Obviously, he don't care. He cares about staying in that White House for the next 4 years, and he not staying there. He know that from November 7th. For a whole ass month. It's like a whole month and some change, and you're still trying to fight this? Supreme Court should shut your shit down. And they're going to shut this shit down again. But back to COVID, because I'm still on the subject of COVID. We have no national strategy. We don't have safety measures to even go back to work or go back to school. Like, they want to push for the kids to go back to school. And it's like, how are you going to push for kids to go back to fucking school and you don't have social distancing measures or money to even invest in safety measures? Like, the schools in New York keep closing down and reopening, closing down because there's no national strategy, no cohesive strategy. I've been saying this for months. I've been saying this since like March, April. I've been doing these videos since April. It's been no goddamn national strategy. None. All other countries got national strategies, but the freest nation in the world, the nation with the most resources, we don't got a national strategy because we're led by a whole ass idiot from Queens. And some of those white folks in the Rust Belt voted for his ass. Even some of these knucklehead white folks here in New York voted for his ass. And voted for his ass again. So y'all must want to get sick and die. Y'all saying y'all health ain't whatever. But yeah, we have no national strategy. So when Biden and Harris get in, don't be mad when they shut down the whole fucking country. Not shut down the economy, because you can still order online. You can still order at Amazon. You can still go to the store. You can still do that. But don't be surprised there'll be a lockdown, a stay-at-home order for the whole entire country. And all states must comply. Unless you want to die. Because cases keep going up every day. My state is almost at 800,000. And my city was one of the few cities to reopen last. And we still haven't reopened in full capacity. You still got to wait online to go to the store because the store is too much capacity. They're not playing that shit here. But moving right along with Biden and Harris are official. Biden and Harris, well, Joseph Robinette Biden, I'm going to say their full names, and Kamala Debbie Harris are officially president-elect and vice president-elect of the United States. Now Congress is going to have to count those electoral votes. And in my state, most of the electors were mostly Democratic. It was my governor, it was the lieutenant governor, it was the AG, it was the state legislative house speaker and assembly speaker. Well, we call it a New York Assembly. That's the state assembly. That's they state senators. And you have the speaker, the house, the council speaker of New York City, who was up there. You have the former speaker of the city council. She was there. And you have the former presidential candidate in 2016, Hillary Clinton, and her husband, former President Bill Clinton, as part of Electoral College. So the Electoral College is made up of really big names here in New York. So most of them are Democratic. Which we used to have 31. No, we used to have 33, then 31. Now we're down to 29. They need to increase that shit again. But, yeah. So that's what happened. And they all cast their ballot for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But then you had people like Antonio Sabato Jr., which while he crying, why he can't get a job, you support Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's been criticizing Hollywood, your industry, dude. But who am I and who is me? Right? I always say that. But yeah, they're official. And now the House of Representatives, the sitting outgoing vice president, the super germ spreader of Indiana, Michael Richard Pence, is going to have to count those votes. And he's going to do what dear leaders say. And they're going to try to fight that to stay their nasty, raggedy asses in there. Your asses is leaving. One way or another, your asses is leaving. Donald Trump going to go back to his raggedy hotel. Hopefully he doesn't sit up in Rikers Island in New York, which they all going to beat his ass in New York. And Mike Pence might find a job at Notre Dame. Who knows? Right? Yeah. But, yeah. The Donald John Trump and the Michael Richard Pence administration, they done. Peace the fuck out. And I hope there'll be a week of sanitizing, fumigating that White House for Joe Biden and Jill Biden, and spray around fumigate, do everything. You clean the vice president's house for Vice President-elect Kamala Harris and the second gentleman of the United States, Doug. They need a clean house to be in. They need a clean house. But let me just do this real quick because I don't have time for the BS. So here it is. For Vice President-elect Kamala Harris and the second gentleman of the United States, Doug. They need a clean house to be in. They need a clean house. But let me just do this real quick because I do not give Playboy. I think he's a troll. He said Trump 2020. Just wait. LMAO. I don't play that shit. I'm not amplifying no fucking trolls on my live. Not tonight. I don't got the time. I have a job. I have all that. So I got time. But yeah, time to clean from the top and the bottom. It needs to be a week or two worth of cleaning. They need to be like a frozen steam. You know how they steam the place? Like have a whole body suit, like a whole protective suit, and just steam the shit. That's what the fuck needs to happen. If you ask me. But that's another. Also, William Barr has, they say he resigned. His ass got fired. Let's just be clear. His ass got fired. His ass got fired because he told the truth. Oh, I ain't seen no fraud. Duh. Everybody would know they ain't seen no goddamn fraud. You didn't see no fraud because the elections were safe and secure. Even the chief of the cybersecurity even said it in the Homeland Security Department. This election was safe. Ain't he resigned or he got fired, one of them things. But he told the truth. This shit was safe. It was just massive turnout. Donald Trump thought it was no massive turnout. They thought they was going to do that shit they did in 2016. No. People saw how you ran this country. How you ran your fucked up ass businesses here in New York. Oh, we still remember. We still remember. And Lord, I remember. Because I grew up around this shit. Around Donald Trump. I know. But people seen it and people got tired and people don't want to be embarrassed. People don't want to go to other countries and be looked at and get pointed at, oh, you're American? Especially being associated with that motherfucker? No. So I'm glad. And now we could be respected. Slow process. Everything's not going to turn overnight. We know that. I know that. But everything takes a process. And as I said on my Twitter, why have Democratic administrations, since I was a little kid, always clean up the mess of Republicans? Before Bill Clinton got in, there was 12 years of Republican rule, from 8 years of Reagan, 4 years of GWHB. Then, after Bill Clinton, of course, they wanted another Republican in. President Obama had to do another cleanup of 8 years of that because of a recession and 9/11. He had to build back up again. He had to save the auto industry. And of course, some of these so-called progressives got mad because he saved the fucking auto industry. So you wanted Chinese people to make your cars again? I got no problem with them making it, but if you want something that's American owned and American built, you would rather have somebody to save the auto industry, especially them people in the Midwest to have their jobs. And some of them motherfuckers voted for Trump, which I don't understand. Like, how you vote for someone that quote unquote will save your jobs and don't give a fuck about this country? But whatever. Who am I? And then because people hated the black man so much, including some of them self-hating black people, those so-called foundational black American motherfuckers, voted for a New York congrifter, and they got duped in their ass. And now we have another person, the former vice president of the United States, who's now the president-elect, and the first woman to hold a position, Black and Southeast Asian American woman, to hold the vice presidency. I mean, how cool can that get? Honestly, I would have preferred the woman, because I was for the woman for the presidency. But I'm glad that she's the vice president. I'm glad. And the crazy part is Joe Biden campaigned for her and sworn her in as the senator. Now they're going to be working together as co-equal partners. And I predicted that ticket once she left, which I was heartbroken for like a couple days and weeks. There was talks about her being on everybody's short list for vice president. And she was just not on Joe Biden's short list. She was on Elizabeth Warren's short list when Elizabeth Warren was still running. She was on Bernie Sanders' short list. She was on all those top front runners' short list for vice president. None of them other folks was not considered to be, but she was the top pick. So I knew Kamala Harris wasn't going nowhere on the national stage, like nowhere. And during her time, after her defeat, she was putting out COVID relief bills like no other. Yeah, I'm tired of people lying about, that's going to be another video. Because I'm tired of people lying about Kamala Harris's record. Laura Bezon, where the fuck you at, bitch? But, yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of that motherfucking shit. But I'm happy. They won for like the 80 millionth time. And they're going to win for the 81 millionth time once on January 6th, once Michael Richard Pence, got to say their whole name if he counts that thing. And I hope all those Republicans burn. I really do. Even the ones in the Senate. Not talking about burn a lot, but be burning inside. And as for Joe Biden, he gave a very stark speech and he criticized. But the only thing that I fear, Joe Biden is going to be like rolling shit off his back. Like, no. You can unify the country, but always remind those motherfuckers what they did to you during the Trump administration and during the presidential primaries and the presidential election. What they did to you, how they vilified your son, your living son, your only living son. They didn't do nothing to your daughter, but they vilified your living son and try to forget the legacy of your late son. How they try to lie about your record, and some of them worked with Joe Biden during the Senate before he even went to the White House with President Obama. Joe Biden needs to keep his eyes on the prize, and he may have to roll out some executive orders too. Because as long as dirty ass Mitch McConnell's in there, well, Addison Mitchell McConnell Jr. is in there, they're going to try to do everything to jam his presidency, trying to make him a one-term president or make Kamala not even seek the presidency. So with that being said, Joe Biden, keep your eyes on the prize. Do whatever's best for this country. Tackle COVID, because that's the first thing that administration got to fucking do. Yep, it all lies on and that's another thing. I told my cousins, and I'm going to tell my cousins again, take your ass out there and vote, because I got 2 cousins from South Carolina that moved to Georgia about 10 years ago. They're now Georgian residents. They need to vote. John Ossoff will do great things for that state, and so will Reverend Raphael Warnock. So they need to do the damn thing, because if they in it, it will be equal. And hopefully one of those Republicans will be investigated for ethics, because Mitch McConnell should be investigated, and I know Lindsey Graham is going to be investigated. And who else should be investigated? Ron Johnson. Ron Johnson was the person that vilified the president-elect's son, who's going to be the first son. He may not have a role in this administration, but he is going to be the first son. So Ron Johnson from Wisconsin needs to be investigated. Hard body. Okay? All right. Now my last topic. These progressives like to eat their own. Oh, in Georgia? Okay. Nice. Yes, please vote. But these progressives like to eat their own. And they like to attack your own. And that's why I say these white progressives in particular, they're not your fucking allies. No matter what. Not all of them. I can say a good 95%. No. No. Jimmy Dore threatening sitting congressional women of color. If you vote for Nancy Pelosi, we see what you are about. Who the fuck you think you are, sir? As much as I don't agree with Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, you're not going to be attacking people. She don't even mention you. How you going to tell who the motherfucking vote for? How about she may be groomed to be like in Democratic leadership one of these days when Nancy Pelosi retires? Because I know who's going to be the next House Speaker. It's going to be a black man. I hope it's Hakeem Jeffries because I actually like him. But back to Jimmy Dore's raggedy, disgusting ass. And yes, he is crazy as fuck. You don't even know how it was to run a campaign because you ran a miserable one, I heard. Because I never heard of you because I never cared for you. Just like those I can't even get the words out. Those degenerates at TYNT, the Brianna Grays of the world, the Katie Hoppers of the world, the Ryan Grims of the world, the Ryan Knights of the world, the Crystal Balls of the world. They're just disgusting. And they're deplorable as fuck. And for Brianna Gray to criticize your black people when black people try to help your ass out and try not to come for your ass, you prove that all skin folk ain't your motherfucking kinfolk. And yes, and I hope that AG Too Hot. Yep. Sure is Queen Lion. Because I'm so sick of this shit. Because this last 4 years have drained me. So I'm happy there be some stability. Yes. Oh yeah, Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, I really like Hakeem Jeffries. And he gives Brooklyn vibes all day because I am a New Yorker. I'm not a Brooklyn, I am a Harlem girl. But I have my fair share of Brooklyn guys. And he was the congressman of my friend's old neighborhood. And I mean, he is in my friend's neighborhood, Bed-Stuy. So, and he lives in his district that he grew up in. I'm just saying. But I'm going to end this here because it's almost 12 and I got to get up early. But you all stay aware. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, and social distance. Wherever you guys are. Whatever state you live in. Please, be safe out here. Until then, have a good one.